All right. Well, Adam, thank you so much for joining us. We can, I think, get started. I'm Katya Black. I'm one of the founders here at MedBio. We're excited to have Adam here today. His company is called The Payment Doctor. And we've had a lot of questions around how clinics can implement better payment systems to cover their risk within their clinics. So yeah, we'll dive in. We will have this recorded. We'll send it out afterwards. And then if people have questions, we'll hold them till the end. You can go on ahead and put them either in the chat or there's a Q&A button on the bottom bar of your Zoom webinar. And we'll kind of go through those at the end. So with that, Adam, I'll pass it over to you.
Uh, Thank you, Katia. All right. Before I throw up the Zoom and you don't have to look at me, I'll just say hello. My name is Adam Castillo. I am the payment doctor. I've been in the payment processing space for over a decade, 11 plus years to be clear. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm not your normal payment guy. Hopefully, some of you I've talked to before. Uh, I have been focusing specifically on the NP clinic and med spa space for the last 2.5 to 3 years. GLPs kind of changed and saved my life. I was morbidly obese, and I helped the lady that started me down my journey. She posted my name up, and I just went down this rabbit hole and found a true love of working with medical professionals, NPs, and found a real problem within this niche that I work on every single day. The biggest thing that I always push on is stability. My service is, I like to think next level and concierge level of hand holding. There's no 800 number, there's no third world country you're calling. And, pricing, all that stuff, I'm competitive to cheaper than most. Nobody works for free anymore. And I just do everything I possibly can to help you grow and improve your business. And hopefully, whether you want to work with me, whether you love who you work with, take the knowledge that I'm going to lay out here to help understand your numbers, improve your business, and then improve the stability of your business so that we don't watch more nightmares that we see and hear about every single day of funding holds and shutdowns happen to you. So on that, I'm going to share my screen and pull up the pretty PowerPoint so you don't have to look at me anymore. All right. So there I am, the payment doctor, prescribing smart payment solutions. It's catchy, it's cheesy, it's actually what I do try to do every single day. Just a little bit about me. I have two beautiful children, Asher, who's 6, Charlotte, who's 3, married to love of my life, Katie. Since I've been younger than Asher, I've been hustling and selling stuff, running side businesses. I don't know how to turn the entrepreneurial spirit off. So, part of what I love about doing what I do every day with every clinic owner, nurse practitioner, is diving into business details much more than the average vendor would, of understanding where I can add value and help you grow, scale, and at the end of the day, make more money and improve your life. I love the hormone replacement world because of the membership side, and it builds you a stable income that you don't typically get within a business that you can kind of scale and grow. And at some point there's that magic number, whether it's 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, that if you can build that membership level there, all your bills are paid, all your expenses are covered, your staff's paid, and it gives you a sigh of relief where you can focus on what you're passionate about and less about paying the bills and keeping the lights on. So I'm a membership lover. I push it, I preach it, I believe in it, and hopefully some of you guys have cracked the code and are killing it with it. Uh, you know, my whole family is real medical professionals. I'm a fraud. I'm a fake doctor. Clever name. It works really well. But my father's an MD and a chiropractor. My wife is an RN. Sister-in-law is a PMHNP. Brother-in-law is an NP. Aunts and uncles are doctors all over the place. And I'm the rebel who found every loophole to stop going to school, to open business after business, and found one that actually fuels that desire, like I've said. And I think I'm a payments expert. I'll let you guys judge when this is over. So one of the biggest things that I preach with anybody is understanding an effective rate. And for some of you, you may have no clue what I'm talking about. So your effective rate is the amount of fees that you paid divided into the amount of money you processed. No matter what is in between that merchant statement, if you're using a traditional merchant account that has 100 different line items of charges, that percentage number of what you actually paid is the most important number you need to find when you're dealing with credit cards. That's a number you should be doing every single month, because when there are changes, that number jumps. The credit card companies as a whole are very good at hiding fees, increasing numbers, doing shady things. And where you may look at it and go, oh, it's only a quarter of a percent price increase. A quarter of a percent on your, $100,000 a month is $250 a month. It's $3,000 a year. You're going to be in business for the next 10 years. That's 30 grand. And that's only one increase. So understanding how to catch them, how to spot them is part of what I'm going to go over today. But understanding your numbers is a critical part of any successful business. And I know for a lot of the people in here, and I have this conversation 15, 20 times a day with new entrepreneurs that are nurse practitioners that have been trained to be incredible providers and caretakers, and the business side is new. The numbers part is not something you've ever dealt with. So having people do the bait and switch, and I like to look at it as stealing money from you, becomes normal, and you're just so focused on the day-to-day grind that you're not watching the numbers. And credit card processing is one of the very few costs that you can't avoid that you can actually save money on. You can't go negotiate with your electric company to get a reduction in your electric bill. You can't fight the insurance company. You can shop for different insurance companies, but they give you set rates. But the credit card company, that's one of the few spots where you do have room to wiggle and negotiate. And most companies out there do multiple price increases every year. They have junk fees, as we call them in the industry, regulatory fees, technology fees, PCI compliance annual fees, regular annual fees, terminal fees, all these different fees that sometimes add up to thousands of dollars every year. Uh, Compounding interest on those thousands of dollars can turn into hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars if you don't watch it and you let your money grow long enough. So little, trinkets of money that they're adding to your statement every month uh, work. And any merchant service company, no matter what they tell you, including the guy that's talking to you right now, can raise any rate on your merchant account. All they have to do is notify you 2 months in a row consecutively on your statement, typically at the last page on the very bottom in that fine print. And it doesn't say, I'm raising your account $200 a month because we're greedy and we want to have more money for our investors. It always dictates in a way of, due to increased regulations with Visa and MasterCard, the interchange rates on the level two MasterCard rewards cards will be increasing by, 0.50% starting January 1st. If you have any objection to this, please contact our support team, and you may cancel within 30 days with no penalty. They always are required to give you a cancellation with no penalty if you're in a contract, and they can raise your rates no matter what they say. I partner with companies that don't do price increases, but I can't guarantee that they don't have an exit strategy one day and the new owner starts raising them. I've been through that side of the world too with the companies getting acquired. New companies go in and they just do rapid price increases, and they lose a lot of their merchants, but the ones that stay increase their bottom line so much that it's worthwhile. So understanding that money grab is helpful. Having somebody you work with that is accountable is also helpful. Uh, Also, other things that, depending on the company you're working with, how you take the cards, how if you type the card number in, there is additional costs that go to that. And depending on how your account is written, those additional costs could be several percent because you typed in the card number instead of inserting the chip or tapping it. And depending on the software and technology you're using, you may not have that ability to do it. There's a lot of EMRs out there that do not give you a terminal option. There's a lot of solutions out there that require you to just manually enter cards. So you have to understand where that is coming from. And, the monthly creep, it's just, again, effective rate, depending on your pricing. If you're on an interchange plus model where you're paying true cost plus a set markup, there's going to be a variation of anywhere from about 1/4% month over month, depending on what types of cards are presented that month. If you're on more of a flat rate type price, it's going to be stable and it's very clear and easy to see when stuff goes up. But I would keep a running Excel sheet that just shows every month and the amount you ran, the amount you paid, and the percentage which you paid in total, and just watch it. It takes 2 minutes once you do it once. And when you see something that jumps out, that's a red flag. And that's when you know somebody's doing something to you, and when you know you really have to dive in deeper. And I kind of just touched on all of this already, but Heartland just did this, and I should have put that on here. Heartland was one of the strongest names in the payment world till a handful of years ago. Global Payments bought them, and Global owns everything. Basically, they own the Global Processing Platform, TSYS platform. They own Heartland. They own a bunch of other technology. And if you were with Heartland in the last year, they have done a $295 annual fee, a $495 annual fee, and now they're doing a $280 technology upgrade fee, all within the same year, because their accounts are dwindling and their profits are shrinking, and they have stockholders and shareholders that they need to report earnings to. So they're really not worried. They did the 295 first and had no pushback, so they went to 495 3 months later and figured, let's try this one. And most people that are running their business, if you're doing 50,000, 75, $100,000 a month, $300 is a blip. You don't notice it when it's in your statement, and you're used to paying 15, 16, $1,800 a month. It goes up $300. Did your sales go up? It's they're very creative and clever in how they do it. So understanding it and watching it will hopefully save you a lot of money over the course of your business. And this will be time well spent listening to me. There's a lot of misconception on technology suites and other things that they like to charge you for that are complete BS. Clever marketing, creative ways to do it. And when it's a monthly consistent charge, it adds up. So I'm a huge fan of flat rate, transparent pricing, being open and honest, not doing any contracts, junk fees, or anything, and knowing what you pay. I give Square and Stripe lots of credit, even Stripe more than Square, because they are one price fits all, 2.930 cents. And they're really good about being transparent with it. A lot of these companies out there promise you one thing, deliver something else, and the dishonesty factor goes out the window. And here's another one that I'm sure some of you have fallen for: being sold a lease on a physical terminal. I'll use Clover as a prime example. You went to your bank, signed up for a checking account at Bank of America, Wells Fargo. They talked you into using Clover, and you signed a lease for 4 years for $99 a month for a Clover terminal that most companies will give you for free. And if you wanted to buy it, cost $600, and you pay close to $5,000 for it. The issues come into when you want to cancel. You cannot cancel that lease. You cannot get out of it. They will destroy your credit. It will be a nightmare. Secondly, that lease does not end. You have to request to cancel it and return the equipment. You don't own it most of the time. If you don't do that, they continue to charge you. They continue to penalize you. Usually it's tied into a very, very low rate with a very dishonest company that as soon as you sign, the company starts doing price increases within 30 to 60 days because they made $3,000-4,000 upfront on that lease. The salesman, who gets 50% of that typically, made himself $1,500-2,000 quickly on your negligence of signing this lease. And now you have nobody that's willing to service you properly because you find out that you were taken advantage of wrongly, and they don't want to deal with you because you're an angry, upset client for years to come if you stay with them. So don't ever lease any equipment, period, in the merchant world. It is all a money grab. That doesn't mean you can't finance equipment, but make sure it's clear, make sure you understand what the real costs are and what percentage of financing it is. But when it comes to leasing of credit card equipment, for the most part, it's all from $200 to $2,000, from the most basic terminal to the most advanced point of sale as far as hardware goes. There's not a reason to have a lease that's going to cost you 3 to 6 times that amount or more. So don't lease, save your aggravation, save your stress. All right. So now we get into the payment doctor part. So the payment doctor did not start when I started in this business. I owned a chain of restaurants, and I had a guy that was in my restaurant every single day harassing me for my credit card account. And I was, why are you here? Why are you here? And I learned the credit card business is a residualized business. I was intrigued at the word residual. I wanted to be part of it. So I started working with him, learned the ropes. We made a little company called APA Payments. And a couple years later, I wasn't working with him anymore. His name was Peter. I'm Adam. My father is Alan. It was the three of us. My father opened the restaurants with me. I brought him into this. Over the years, it was just me running APA. And the question came up all the time, what's APA stand for? And it was this whole story that made no sense. It's a name that means two other people I don't work with. It had no weight, no quality. And as I started going down this rabbit hole, I was already in the rebranding stage. If I need to rebrand myself. And about 3 years ago, while I'm sitting in bed searching on GoDaddy for websites, the payment doctor popped in my head. I typed it in. It was available. I bought it. Didn't tell anyone about it for a couple days. Kept thinking, am I crazy? Is it too hokey? Is it too cheesy? And it's grown to be my image, play into all the stuff. I love my branding. I love all the parts about it. And it really does work with everything that I try to preach and sell. Uh, as I've stressed before, like personally, I focus on being open, transparent, providing support that blows your mind. Most of the time, you don't need your credit card guy. So I can promise the world and not have to deliver. But when there is a problem, when you run into an issue, when there is an emergency, there is nobody you want in your corner in this business more than me. I understand how to beat risk. I understand how to fight the battles. I understand how to make sure your funds don't get held and that your business survives. And God forbid we run into an issue where the current company will not continue to work with you. This is a relationship business. I have tons of relationships. I always know how to get you up and running within usually 1 to 2 business days and make sure that your payment cycle never misses. So your bills continue to get paid and you don't end up like one of those horror stories we read on all the different Facebook groups like Elite NP and some of the other non-private ones like Med Spa owners groups and those. Um, in the merchant world, it used to be pretty standard. You sign 3-year contracts. They had a $400, $500, $600 cancellation fee, and we all paid each other's cancellation fees, and we all kind of marked it up down the road to make up for the $500, $600. I don't write contracts. I don't do junk fees. I like to do everything as open, honest, and transparent as possible. I believe in the red carpet treatment coming both ways. If you want to leave me, there's great salesmen out there. Go ahead. The red carpet's rolled out for you to come back. No harm, no foul. That is how I've always operated. That's how I operated with every business I've ever done. I just believe in having good karma, good morals, and doing the right thing. And if you've ever gone on the Payment Doctor website, I kind of have a cheesy Hippocratic oath based on business, not on human beings. But really, it's a do no harm. I will have calls, I'm sure, with plenty of the people here. There will be some of you that I will tell you not to work with me. And it doesn't mean that I can't add value in one aspect, but if you're not being taken advantage of, if you are in a good spot, if your business is not in a risk factor and I can't enter the technology, I'm going to be honest with you. I promise you all that. I can't force you to work with me. I can't force you to work with anyone, but I will be straightforward, honest. I do free consultations all day long. I'm happy to dive into any part of pricing, business, structure. I nerd out to this stuff. My life is great because of this community. And if there's anything I can do to ever give back and help any entrepreneur from the startup stage to growth stage to scaling to exiting, I'm here to be an integral part of the community in any way, shape, and form I can. All right, so now let's get into the real problems. So we've all heard the stories, we've all seen the horror stories of the shutdowns that are going on. So, and this is going to be in another slide too. There is a problem with the payment facilitators. Payment facilitators are Square, Stripe, Intuit, PayPal. It's a one size fits all merchant account because it is not your own merchant account. It's called a PayFac or payment facilitator. They have to follow specific rules and guidelines regulated by Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and Discover of what types of businesses they can take in this PayFac. In their terms and conditions, it basically outlines no med spas, no clinics, in the nicest way possible. No telehealth, not no form, no telehealth. It goes into anything pharmacy prescription related. So if you are facilitating the sale of any drugs, that means any compound pharmacy orders where you are getting paid and you are paying the pharmacy, any vitamin shots, even to the point of IVs, because there are medications in some IVs that you are selling the IV along with it, violates their terms and conditions. Now, I know there's a lot of people in here going, well, I've used Square for years. I've never had a problem. That's right. Square does $100 billion, $200 billion a year of credit card processing. And your business, as great as it is, maybe it's $1 million business, which is killer, is a blip on their radar until something draws eyes on you. And that's where I stress. I look at every risk angle for the worst case scenario, making sure that I have a game plan mapped out in my head, knowing what I know to fight the battle with the risk, the underwriters, to make sure that you stay alive. The problem you have with working with any of these companies is there is no payment doctor. There's no Adam. There is an employee potentially you get on the phone that has no vested interest in your survival. They are following protocol. They don't care. One of the big things that I stress about working with myself or with any other independent payment professional, we make money off of your volume. That's how we make a living. That's how we feed our kids. If you don't process volume, I don't make anything. So when you're in trouble, I'm in trouble. And I treat it like that. I treat it like it's my own business where I fight like it's my own survival. And that is huge. That is critical. So understanding that if you're using any of the big name brands, you're problematic to start. Now, going down that rabbit hole, you're using your bank, you're using Elevon with Costco, and you believe that their pricing is great, and maybe they are great. Some of them really offer some great deals, great incentives. The bank kind of forced you into using them because they gave you a loan. Those things happen. The problem goes the same. That bank rep that signed you up, when you call the bank tomorrow, tell them you have a problem with your machine, they're going to give you an 800 number. They're not involved with anything after the time that deal is sold. They got their $50 or $100 spiff for closing a merchant account, and that is it. So it goes right down to that part. You want personal representation, period. You also want somebody that understands the business you're in, the vertical you're in, and the struggles and hurdles that you have. I've gone through this with people that signed up with one of Elite MP's preferred vendors that had their funding held by the same company that runs our backend, PaySafe. Their money was held with the same backend ISO because the vendor from Elite NP did not understand that you were using OptiMantra EMR and it had to be 100% keyed entry credit cards, and they put 80% card present. There's no way to take a card present transaction on that technology setup. So they were holding their funds. I got this lady up who's awesome. She was up and running within 24 hours. We converted her authorized.net. She's never had a hiccup. I coached her on getting her money back from PaySafe, made sure that it got facilitated. She got her money back a week later. she closed down that relationship. That was the preferred vendor within a structure like a lead NP that should know what they're doing. It's really hard to understand how somebody can do what I do and not understand which pieces flag risk and which pieces flag underwriters in this space. So when we go down this rabbit hole onto the real high risk stuff, if you want to be 100% telehealth, you really do fall into a high risk world now that is requiring legit scripts, that is requiring high risk registration, which is being registered as a pharmacy per Visa MasterCard guidelines. The combination of the two is close to $5,000 a year. So it is expensive. And you fall into the high risk processing side, which typically yields anywhere from 0.5% to 1.5% additional, they call it bin cost, a buy-in cost from the processing side to get that merchant account. So it becomes really hard to do 100% telehealth. Now, there are ways to be creative with that. If that is your plan, if that's why you're listening and that's your business model, talk to me. Let me go over what you're doing. Let me see if I can help you structure something. Maybe we work together, maybe we don't, but let me help you not get shut down. That is critical. I want to keep you alive as long as possible so your business can grow and you can build the dreams of entrepreneurship. Uh, and then, you know, the funding holds, which are huge problems. And I believe that is the next one of these that we're going to go into. Well, I just went into a good portion of these, but uh, why you're getting shut down, there's a lot of reasons your accounts get flagged. And let's dive into this for a second. Chargebacks draw attention. Fortunately, a majority of this industry is very low in the chargeback world. It does happen. Personally, I run over $100 million in clinics and med spas, so I do see the chargebacks come through on a larger footprint to get a basis. It's rare, but it does happen. It depends on the clinic owner and how they operate when somebody wants to cancel a treatment plan, a membership, etc. Is if or not the chargeback will happen. Visa and MasterCard have very stringent pharmacy, they call it pharma guidelines, and we are flying in the gray with a lot of them. And part of the issue is the banks don't know where the compliance levels are and where they're not. And if they don't comply properly when they have an audit, which they get audits as well, they get fined from the processor level from Visa, MasterCard. Some of those fines can be passed on to the customer. It's in every merchant agreement. If they get fined based on your business, you may be assessed that fine. A lot of times the processor just absorbs it and eats it. Like the research peptide stuff, those fines are six figures right now. They are really trying hard to stop the research chemicals, research peptides. There's creative ways that some of people get up and running. There's a lot of offshore solutions that are a little shadier and fly by night. It's a really volatile space right now. And stuff seems to be lightening up, and there's some of the processors are opening back up to it again. It goes through uh, peaks and valleys of stress parts within that. Uh, so the smartest person I know in this business explained it to me that if the bank doesn't understand the business you're doing and the risk, it's easier for them to just close you down than try to understand it. They want simple, clean business. They want you to be selling a retail item, card present, simple as can be. Anything more than that adds a level and a layer of risk to them, whether it's a chargeback risk, a reputational risk, etc. So it takes somebody that really understands how to navigate this within the risk, within the underwriting side to push deals through that are gray. So there's other people that are great at this. I'm not the only one, but make sure you find somebody who is versed in this if you're going in this for the long term. Uh, the telehealth, I don't think I need to scream at that one more. And then the word peptides, just in general, is scary. I love peptides. I think probably 99% of the people on this call love and believe in peptides and how amazing they are. What they've done to help my life and change my life is critical with GLP-1s, uh, HRT that I'm on now as well, which is incredible stuff. So, or TRT, I'm a guy. But hormone replacement nonetheless. Uh, but the word peptide and peptide treatments scare a lot of the banks. So understanding the pieces of that puzzle, also understanding what you put on your website, what you put on an invoice is critical. I don't believe in lying to the bank. That costs you more than an account shut down. If they believe you're being dishonest, they will put you on this list called the match list. It is like credit card jail. It is a 5-year ban on you personally and your corporation taking credit cards. Yes, there are some processors out there that will look the other way for somebody on match. It usually involves 3 to 5% additional costs, and it's not pretty, and you're waiting 3 to 4 business days to get your money. It's not a road you want to go down. And it still has to be a very low risk environment for them to even take that risk. So don't lie to the banks, but don't be so precise that you're drawing red flags either. Be general. So if you are doing GLP-1s, medical weight loss, do not have your invoice say vial of trizepatide 60 milligram. You are a medical professional. You are not a drug dealer, I believe. And as long as you are a medical professional, it should look like a medical treatment. Medical weight loss plan with trizepatide. Level 1, level 2, level 3. Make it look like you are providing an entire program, because my guess is all of you are. You're doing counseling, coaching, you're talking about meal plans, you're talking about exercise, you're doing the medical side of it. You just don't understand the risk side of it from the credit card world. And I get invoices when we're on risk reviews where it's like the last one I had, the invoice was $3,000 and it had 5 vials on the invoice and nothing else. And in her EMR, she had a full documentation of her entire care plan. So I attached that to it. I explained that she just put it on here like this, and we got her through it. But we shouldn't have to go down that route. We should make it easy to win every battle. And if you are the person that is using your technology and being very precise about every vial of everything, go back and make it a little bit more general. Do not lie to the bank. That will cost you more, but you don't have to be so precise that it gets you closed down with any eyeball on you. And, we all know the FDA is a nightmare. So that's really what scares so many people, is they're just the uncertainty, which also brings you to the legit scripts part, which I'm sure a lot of you have been told you need legit scripts. Some of you probably have legit scripts. One of the problems with legit scripts is they monitor everything. They also require you to use only legit scripts pharmacies. So if you get caught using a non-legit scripts pharmacy, now you're in trouble with that. But stuff like BPC 157, that is amazing stuff that helps for, muscle tears and ligament tears, stuff of that nature that you may be prescribing or utilizing, is not FDA approved. You can't be legit script certified if you talk about that anywhere. So understanding how to work around it and not need legit scripts is awesome. One of the issues with not having legit scripts is the ability to properly market some of your services, because the car brands and legit scripts have forced kind of Google and other Meta into requiring that for certain things. So creativity is king. Uh, and I can speak from personal success. The best money you're ever going to spend is your time taking care of the people that are already your clients and patients and making them your cheerleaders. There's no amount of money that I could have spent to build this company that has happened from doing my job correctly day in and day out, and asking. You have to ask for referrals, and you have to ask in a way, find what works. And I call it the money pinata. find what works, and then continue to beat it until the money stops flowing. I know that Elite NP posts and testimonials work. I know that people that are complaining about their current provider, if my clients comment, payment doctor, use Adam, he's amazing, fills my calendar. Those things work for me. So when I'm done with a call and setting somebody up and I have proven everything that I promised and over delivered, at that point I ask them to be my cheerleader, because at that point they believe in what I've given them. So I'm not saying the first day somebody starts trizepatide, asking them to tell their overweight friends. I'm saying when they come in 45 days later, 60 days later, and they're down 35 pounds, and you're their favorite person in the world because they've been struggling like I was for years to lose anything and keep it off. And now they've been able to lose the weight without even trying. They're not even working out yet, and the weight's falling off of them, and they're still eating McDonald's when they want because they can barely eat anything. That point is where you really can capitalize on getting organic growth and scaling your business to the next level. And we've talked frozen funds. Legally, Stripe, Square, PayPal, Payment Doctor, and the companies I work with can all legally hold deposits that they have not given you for up to 180 days. The reason behind that is any chargeback can be filed up to 180 days after payment is collected, and in certain cases, even longer if the services have not been fulfilled when at the time of payment. So if you were doing a 6-month per plan that they paid you up front for, technically they have a year to charge it back. So if your money is being held, they can legally hold it up to that period of time. And the best part is they don't have to ever release it unless you request it, which is something nobody tells you. They have to hold it in escrow, they have to keep it safe, but that doesn't mean that they have to give it back to you until you request it, usually formally and in writing. And typically, they're going to put it in a form of a divert account, and they're going to charge you monthly for that divert account, $25, $35, $50 a month for holding your money in this special account specifically open for your business. So it will cost you money every month on top of the opportunity cost of that money. And for some of the people that are starting up, especially, or ones that have seen rapid growth quickly, you may have a lot of memberships, you may have a lot of volume over the weekend. If you're using a company like Stripe, they take 2 to 3 business days to give you your money, not next day. So funds that you ran on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, don't start showing up till Tuesday, basically. 5 days, busy clinic, a lot of weight loss, memberships, etc. You can be 40, 50, $60,000 they have held. And on Tuesday, when your money doesn't show up, you're not stopping to take payments. You're still busy. You might not even check your account till the end of the day, and there's nobody to call at Stripe, really. So you're sending them an email, and a day or two later, you get a response back that says your account's currently under review. In 72 hours, we'll tell you what's going on. So you keep operating, and they may end up with close to 100 grand in some of these places before they tell you that they're closing down your account, and the funds will be held up to 180 days, and you can request a review of them in 90 days. If that happened to you, can you survive? Can you fulfill the orders that people, paid you for? The weight loss, the testosterone, can you get back up and running fast enough and pay your employees and pay your stuff? Do you have enough money sitting in the bank? Most people don't. Most people that own businesses do not have slush funds everywhere. I hope all of you do. I really do. I've literally emptied stores out in the middle of the night because we were gonna get closed down or we couldn't afford to pay the bills anymore, and it just had to say goodbye. It sucks. And that was without people holding my money. That's because I opened restaurants. Don't ever do that either. But I've seen the funding holds take great businesses and have them just close their doors because they didn't have anything left to fight. They were just going to go back and work in a hospital, make 150 grand a year and call it a day. And their dream of owning a business went up in smoke because they decided to work with a company like Stripe. Don't do that. Don't risk your future because you think it's convenient. So those are real points. Uh, I know I've harped on all of these and it's just repetitive at this point, but other things that are really true. I hear this all the time. Well, Square, Stripe, they're the cheapest ones out there. They're great. They're not. They're typically more expensive on almost all levels. For someone like me, I tend to find a quarter to a half% savings on most of those, uh, with real support, stability, faster payouts, etc. There's other people like me. It's not only me. I don't want this to seem like a sales tactic. I'm still a salesman. I can't turn it off completely. Uh, the problem is, especially with Stripe, Stripe has the most widely open API, easily integratable to an EMR. And instead of going the route of, if some of you use like OptiMantra, where we're generating an API from a gateway like authorize.net, then you're cutting and pasting the API in there. That takes extra work. With Stripe, you sign up with a static record, you log in with your Stripe username and password, and you're taking payments. So it is super simple. And these EMRs build in and they have some of the best technology, best workflows, the best everything. I wish I had their technology. Same thing with Square. Something as simple as Square has robust, amazing technology. They have millions and millions and millions of dollars in development. Their tech is killer. I wish I had it. The stuff I have is not as good. I'm honest. It work for your business? Absolutely. Will it get you shut down and your funds held? 99% of the time, not a chance. I can't guarantee that you're not going to do something that's going to cause that, but I'm going to do everything in my power to protect you and make sure that you are educated on the risk factors. Uh, Again, with the Stripe, Square, PayPal, Intuit side, the instant approval is almost more industry standard now. I get a lot of deals approved instantly, but it still is a 6-hour process. If we're doing a virtual terminal, if I get something in the morning and it's a rush, I get you taking payments within 2-3 hours usually. But usually I say 24 to 48 hours, start to finish. If we're not in a rush, there's no reason to move mountains. But they approve it and you're able to take a payment in 3 to 5 minutes because they're a PayFac. They're just doing a little business and ID verification through AI. As long as you fit that criteria, you're able to take payments. That part is awesome, but it's not worth risking your future over. Uh, to all the people that are saying they'll never catch me, I'm too smart, I'm too creative. In the last 60 days, it's been over $3 million of monthly volume that Square has shut down that I personally have written business for. I'm only one small company in America. There's been so much volume, so many clinics, so many med spas. Square is doing an internal audit. If you're using Square and you're in this space, talk to me or talk to somebody else, cut and run. Stripe, always doing shutdowns. It's like common knowledge, but a lot of times you're working with your EMR, it's through Stripe, and you're just so embedded and so deep into it that you don't know how to make the change. Secondly, if you are doing monthly memberships that are triggered through Stripe, triggered through Square, I highly recommend, if you're not doing it today, implement this into your forms. Make sure it's stored within your EMR or in a secure way because you don't want this getting out. That's where you violate PCI compliance, which is the credit card world's version of HIPAA. Have a full credit card number, expiration date, authorization form as part of their forms. Even if you're not doing membership, still get them to fill that out. You can have ChatGPT created. I'm not a lawyer. If you want to consult a lawyer on that, maybe a better idea than talking to me on the form itself. But it's a pretty standard form just to give your business permission to be able to have their credit card on file to charge at a later date for services. But if you are, let's say, using Stripe, you're using Practice Better, you have 400 memberships. This is an exact story of what I just went through with a client. And Stripe did not officially shut her down, but they held her money for 30 days while they were doing an audit, and in that 30 days, we were converting her over. She had 100 of the 430 monthly memberships that she could set up, and the other 330 were manually reaching out to every patient, apologizing, telling them they had to update their payment processor, and requesting that they give them a new card information. She has a wonderful practice. She lost 5% of her members because at the time that happens is the opportunity for someone to leave and you will have attrition. So protect yourself, get those forms, have them updated if they update their card, keep them stored in your EMR so that you are following PCI compliance and they are in a safe place. And if something ever goes south, you have the data. Yes, it's a PIA to go pull every patient's file that's on the membership, rekey in all the information, re-trigger membership into new software. I promise you, it's better than the alternative. And, you know, the people that are looking at the technology pieces of like Square that they have the employee clock in and clock out, yeah, that's great. Is it worth risking your business? Or the scheduling? Lots of EMRs have scheduling aspects, lots of other services you can get with scheduling built in. Don't look at little features and think that that's the reason you're going to grow to use a company that is famous for destroying you. I'm going to stress it till I'm blue in the face, which is probably about 5 more minutes from now. So we're almost done. And then just, I mean, this is kind of like my core, you know, I look at these three things with the focus being on you growing your business at the end. But if I can't provide savings in some way, better stability for your business, and better support than you currently have, we should not be having a conversation. You should not be coming to work with me. That doesn't mean I'm always going to save everyone a fortune because sometimes your rates are good. Sometimes your volume's not there. I can only save you a fraction of the money that you were paying in credit card fees. So depending on where your rate is, I'm looking at profitability. I'm trimming profit. And that's what every person in my business does when we save you money. We either convert you into passing credit card fees onto your patients, which is a way for us to stabilize or increase profit a lot of times, or we are trimming profit depending on the company. Sometimes it's a temporary trim, sometimes it's permanent, but that is how we save you money. So the other thing is you were working with a company that wasn't taking care of you, and you're switching to somebody that you believe will take care of you, and you're making them, you know, cut the profit down to where it's going to be hard to survive for them. I'm not saying you shouldn't negotiate the best deal for your business. I'm saying that when you have a strategic partner and a vendor, you want both sides to have a fair and honest deal. So I just say keep that in mind, you know, so I'm not, you know, having, I'm never going to be the cheapest guy in the world anymore. I'm not going to be anywhere near the most expensive, but I'm going to be reasonable all the way through. And I believe that that's where we all should be working together as, you know, in a vendor business relationship. The stability factor, I'm really good at it. I understand how to keep you alive. That is what I'm strongest at, I believe, than maybe anybody in this payment vertical for the clinic and med spa space. And the support, go put a post up and ask how my support is on any medical group that's private where you don't have people that are going to go defend me that I can, you know, go into and see and watch the reviews. I mean, that is me in as a whole. And from anybody that's talked to me long enough, I'm a nerd when it comes to growing your business. I'd rather not make money and watch you grow and scale to another level. My life has become amazing because of what I've done here. And if I can make your lives better, it's a huge, huge, huge win for me. These are just a few of the numerous testimonials uh, that my assistant actually put this together, and I just went back and forth with her because she's way better at graphics than I'll ever be. So, I mean, but all these are pretty true. Stripe closed my account. You know, they found my name. I got them up and running quick. Uh, about my customer service, and then, you know, changing, updating how they do payments. There's some great technology depending on what you're looking for. And sometimes there's pieces of the puzzle that I can add and institute with you and implement with you that are game changing, that make your process smoother and better. Change is always difficult with anything in life. Change sucks. Doesn't mean that change is bad. It just means it sucks. So at some point, we all have to change how we do things. If you're going to do it, change for the better. And some of the fun key takeaways from this of transparency typically saves you money, always saves you headaches. Uh, as far as rates go, we all pay the same cost to interchange. So there's no reason that the guy's clinic that is doing $2 million a month should be paying so much less than you that's doing 20,000 a month. Yes, they have a little bit better negotiating power, but you do deserve the same quality support and everything, because with the right pieces in place, you're going to grow your clinic to that level as well. Having better systems a lot of times gets you better cash flow, and better systems are everything from the beginning of understanding your effective rate and making sure that you're not having money stolen from you by greedy companies, and understanding, you know, the flow of how your money comes in, and all the different pieces of the puzzle, and implementing memberships and doing all those things are critical to improving that cash flow, because without cash flow your business doesn't survive. uh, if you didn't realize yet, not all the processors are built for this industry. And I'll take that one step further. The same processor will shut you down that I work with, that I'll keep you alive. Without the right representative understanding what buttons to push and what things to fight, you will not survive a risk review, because they do not care. If you are doing 20, $30,000 a month, you are worth 30, 50, maybe $100 a month to that merchant sales representative. The amount of time and effort and energy that they have to spend to fight that battle on something that they don't understand why they're in trouble is not worthwhile, when they can just use that energy to go sell somebody else. Now, for me, this is deeper, and it's deeper in a couple different ways. The first way is I care and value about your business. I take it personally. But the other thing is, I have built a machine and a reputation of being the stability go-to person. Most of this has come from private nurse practitioner groups that I cannot get into. I get screenshots. Occasionally, I get a family member that I control on their phone on Facebook because I want to see who's talking about me. I'll be honest, but it wouldn't be hard for me to drop the ball on somebody and them to go on to Elite NP and badmouth the payment doctor. I've never seen a bad review on my company, and I've worked really hard to be the best I possibly can be. And at some point, I will screw up. I am a human being. I will always do everything in my power to fix it, but I've never seen a bad review put up about me. And fighting for your business and doing everything in my power to make sure you have the best stability ensures me that I will not see that anytime in the near future. And, the more you know, the better off you're going to be. Take any of the stuff that I've given. Hopefully, some of it has been very valuable to help your business scale, grow. And if anybody is interested in locking down time on my calendar, it's free. There's a QR code right there. It takes you right to my scheduling link, my website. I'm happy to dive in and go through the details with anyone and everyone, and see how I can help. And at that point, this is the end of the speech, and I think I nailed it right in an hour, almost identically, exactly. And I know we probably have a bunch of questions, or I hope we do. So let's dive into that part.
Great, thank you so much. Yeah, if you guys have questions, you can throw them either in the chat or in the Q&A. One of the questions on here, Adam, you had specifically mentioned NPs. Do you work with any APP? The woman asking is a PA.
Yeah, I have NPs as a whole are just more of the uh before I'm gonna leave this up for another minute and then I'm gonna close this down just in case anybody does need me does need my booking link. I'll leave this up for a minute. But yes, I work with PAs, I work with MDs, I work with NPs, and I work with non-medical business owners as well. Uh, it's just the NP entrepreneur uh, tr transformation is where this really started. There's a lot of PAs, they still require the collaborating physician just like most NPs do. So yes, I can work with anybody that has a medical style business. I can do anything that involves taking credit cards for the most part, but I don't focus or put any of my energy into anything that is not in this niche vertical because my time is better spent here. If you have other businesses, I have great relationships with people that are great in other verticals that I will gladly pass your information on and know you'll be in good hands. It's just not my expertise anymore. And I will be lying to you if I said I'm going to be better at taking care of your restaurant POS than somebody else.
This next one, can you get people up and running while they're still under contract with Square? Like, how does that transition work?
I'm you're not actually under contract ever with Square, which is nice. If you did a Square merchant cash advance, that is the only hairy part. You are required to run a certain amount of volume through Square, or because it's not actually like a physical loan, it is a prepayment of future receivables. So you do have to fit and fulfill that volume. But other than that, the transition is simple. I always do a consultation or a phone call with every person. On my website, there's an apply now or get started now link, which is my pre-application, is the information that I will require to write up your merchant account. I will not write any deal without talking to you and without making sure that I am the right fit for your business. With that being said, once that pre-app comes in, I cut and paste and generate that into a DocuSign with whatever technology or equipment pieces that we need. A lot of which I can place for free, like free gift card programs, free terminals, etc. And that goes, once you sign that, it goes directly to my underwriting and applications team. Typically, within 24 hours, you are up and running. The technology is created. If there's hardware being shipped, it's being shipped and I am scheduling onboarding with you where we do a dedicated Zoom. If you are using something like Square, I send you homework of a CSV file of your patient list, your items and service lists, and I take that information and I upload that into whatever new system we're using. So when we're training, you are already up and running. You're ready to rock and roll. I'm not giving you a blank slate like a lot of these other companies would, where they kind of send you here's the program and here's some upload Excel upload templates and good luck. No, my I have myself and my assistant and a couple other team members now that I'm bringing on that do and assist with the onboarding, which is critical and almost as important as every other piece of this puzzle because if you don't get up and running smoothly, it's a bad taste in your mouth and it's not what we should be having.
Yeah. And is it good? We have someone who's opening a clinic at the beginning of next year. Is it good for them to do a consultation prior to getting their clinic opened?
Yes. Before they go and sign something that they shouldn't sign, talk to me. There's no obligation. If I'm the right fit, awesome. If I'm not the right fit, I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of people don't like taking startups and they have minimum volume requirements. I don't do any of that. I work with the smallest to the largest of companies because one, you never know where you're going to grow. And two, you all need great support, guidance, and service. So the only thing that I can't offer startups a lot of times, depending on the size and scope of what you're building, is free equipment placement. We do have volume requirements starting at 10,000 a month and going up to 20,000 a month for an individual piece. And some of the stuff I can give away is like full blown Clover Duo stations that are 2 grand. As long as you're doing 20,000 a month, they just are not the greatest for a lot of the healthcare aspects. And then if you are have larger volume, we have equipment calculators on our side, so we can place multiple pieces of equipment, multiple technology pieces, and put together a suite and a plan that makes sense. And part of what I do on the consultation is throw up, back end virtual terminals and demo sites to show you what is on my mind to what I think is going to work best for you, and hoping that it is what you're looking for as well. But it's the opportunity for you to tell me, no, I hate the way this looks, and let's go back to the drawing board, because a lot of these people just send you the stuff without you ever seeing it, touching it, looking at it, and then you hate it and you're already kind of married to it.
Okay. Can you give an example of how payment processing would work outside of an EHR such as Healthy? I guess Healthy integrates with Stripe directly.
Oh, I am very well aware. So you have a couple different choices, and one of the hardest parts of this is the online scheduling part, because so many clinics want to collect deposits for scheduling so your patients have some skin in the game. So that is the hardest part. And I have a lot of clients that use Healthy and other EMRs that are Stripe related, and we leave Stripe connected just to collect their deposit on,
Mm.
because they're not selling anything, they're just booking a consultation, and that is the only thing Stripe facilitates. And then we have, depending on the business and what their services are, if they are more geared towards hormone replacement where they need a more robust membership kind of setup, there's a great service I use called Hyphen. Plugs into my gateway with PayBright, the main company I do my business through, and it does incredible membership triggers. Most systems require you to have the card information entered previously before you can start a membership. This one, you can email them a link. When they pay the link, it automatically starts their membership on that day. If their membership payment doesn't go through, it will send them an update where they have their own customer portal where they can update their payment information. It automatically re-triggers the payment, continues the membership. A lot of added little value technology pieces. Like that add-on is a $40 a month add-on. In a brand new clinic, that might be too much of an investment on software at this stage. If you're doing 50, 60,000 a month, $40 is nominal. I'm going to find you $40 in savings somewhere to justify improving your process there. So stuff like that is great. If I have the volume to give you a free terminal, which is 15 grand for like the basic terminals that we have that are still made in the 21st century, as bad as some of the stuff that they have me give away. We have a free gift card program, costs nothing to load them, redeem them, issue them, and we even take your logo, design a proof that you approve, and print the first 100 gift cards for free. A lot of the clinics and med spas are never going to sell gift cards, and I'm very fully aware of that. They are some of the best marketing and promotional tools that you can have. Going to the gyms when they do their customer appreciation day and giving them one to raffle off. If you have little kids, their schools have hit you up for donations every other month. It feels like I have two of them. You guys are aware of this. So every time they want a donation, I still own a restaurant. I print out a card from Big Al Steaks. I give them a $100 gift card. They can raffle that off. Worst case scenario, one of my regular customers gets a gift card at a discount and they save some money. Best case scenario, it's never used. Opposite on this side of the world, you would gladly pay $100 for a new patient. Now you're giving away a gift card with a $100 value. You're getting a $100 donation write off and potentially a new patient out of it. So those are little pieces of added value that I push and throw in because they're at my disposal and they don't cost any of us money. It's just free perks we get by acquiring your merchant account. And as far
Great.
as the healthy thing, I'm sorry, as far
No,
as
you're
doing
fine.
it, logging when if you're still using your healthy to do your charting, do your billing in a sense, you would just either create a dummy tender button for outside credit card, or mark it as cash and then put in the notes paid by side credit card. Depending on your volume, it could be a headache. It could be very simple. Depends on how busy your clinic is. I have a lot of places that don't even log their payments in their EMR. They just do everything outside of it. And it's not the worst thing in the world to have your payments separated from your EMR these days, because people jump EMRs like they're dating in high school. And when you have everything embedded in there, it makes it hard to switch. Where if the payment part, which is critical to your business survival, is separated, you have the freedom to choose what EMR you want, and your payments never get interrupted. Now I'm done. Sorry about that. I
Yeah,
get long-winded
okay.
sometimes.
No, this is great. It's great information. How does your service compare with Corpay? Someone signed up with them. They're wondering if they're locked into a contract.
Uh, I don't know who Corpay is directly. I've heard the name before, so I could not tell you if they're good, bad, or indifferent. Usually I would start Googling stuff, but I don't want to mess up because my screen is on share right now. Uh, I don't know what your rates are. I don't know what service or technology they're providing you. I would say schedule a 15-minute call. We'll talk about it. If you're not in a bad spot, if they're taking care of you, awesome. I mean, I still have ways to pay off some people's early termination fees if it's in a bad situation. Uh, it's never a perfect solution to do that because then technically it ties you into an early termination fee with us if you leave us within like 24 months. So I don't like doing that. But if the deal makes sense, I'm still in business. So I'm going to look at the business factors of the deal. But at least, use me as a resource. I scream it, I say it out loud. Uh, my schedule's pretty open as far as hours of availability. I'm like 50 hours a week that I open up for consults. And I do probably 30 to 40 Zoom calls every single week plus all the onboarding, plus all the other stuff. Uh, I love this stuff, so I'm happy to dive into the details and see if this is the right decision now, or maybe 6 months from now we revisit the conversation. I mean, I'm happy to help. I don't know enough about Corpay to give you an honest analysis, though.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, definitely book consultations with Adam. I think that's it on the questions. So Adam, thank you so much for coming in today. We'll share the recording out. We'll also share out the QR code in case
Yeah,
people want
I
to, book
I think
time with
that
Adam.
I'm worried that QR code is not working right because that payment doctor little logo is supposed to be in the middle,
Let me
and
check. We'll send out an email afterwards. So
yeah,
if for some reason,
yeah,
yeah,
you
actually
can.
it doesn't, Adam, it
It's
actually
not it's
doesn't.
not scanning. I mean, my on my website there's a book now thing,
Okay.
and I never caught that one. We checked everything on this thing, and the fancy automation moved it. So, but you have you have a booking link for me.
Yeah,
So if you want to
yeah.
send, you can send that out. I'm happy. Do not feel guilty about wasting my time. To anybody that's still listening, use me. I'm happy to help. Some of you will end up having to work with me because I'm good at sales sometimes. It is what I do. But if it's the right decision for you, awesome. If it's not, I'm happy to have a conversation and at least reassure that you're not in a bad situation.
Um, Great. Well, thank you guys so much. We'll make sure we get everything shared out with you. And then yeah, if you have any additional questions, reach out to Adam. You can also reach out to me. We're always here. Yeah, and we appreciate the time today.
Thank you guys so much for allowing me to be here. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you. All right, have a great day, everybody. Bye, guys.